Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is June 29th, 2018. My name is Lynn Marquidant, and I'm your host. Do you believe we're almost halfway through the year? I can't believe it. Welcome. Tonight, we're going to be making another Dear Jane block. With luck, we may make two because I've had a head start. And I also, right off the bat, want to wish some happy birthdays to Kim and to, I wrote this down, to Kim today. To others, I wanted to welcome Lorraine and Linda, our newest patrons, to Simply Colorful. Thank you. I couldn't do this without your patronage, so thank you very much. For anyone who would like to contribute, go to Patreon/Simply Colorful. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so today we're making Dear Jane. For anyone who's not familiar, it is the 1863 quilt that was made by Jane Stickle up in Vermont while her husband and brother and father were in the Civil War. And she did it all by candlelight, which is kind of amazing. And Brenda Papadakis has done this book. There's also some software that's available that you can buy, and we're chipping away at it. Tonight, we're making D9, sorry. It's called Uncle Richard. And it's this one down in the bottom. So those are that's it written out, just the black and white, and there is the block. So I paper pieced it, and I printed out my paper pieced design, and I actually have already created my paper pieces. So we're going to sew it together, put a binding on it, which is what this block calls for to make it the 4.5 inches. I think it's 4.5 inches, right? Yeah. Right, and then we put another binding around that. Okay, so I have my machine set up. I have it set down to 1.6 because when you're paper piecing, you want the needle to perforate the paper so it's easier to pull off. So what have you been working on, and are you working on something right now? For anyone who might be new to FiberCast, welcome. We hope that you're getting ready, if you're here in the States, for the 4th of July or anywhere. Just hope you're looking forward to a nice weekend. See, this always happens to me. When I sewed it, the bottom, because I'm not using a walking foot, kind of got askew. See how that's over a little bit, that bottom? I think I'm going to redo it, believe it or not. See if I can find. Well, and I might live on the edge and use a blade, which is a wonderful way to rip seams. In fact, Carol Doak, see how I'm doing it here? And use your blade. That's a better way because I'm keeping it away from any of my skin. And you use the rest of your hand to pull the pieces apart. It's not for kids, and you have to feel comfortable doing it, but it really does work. And now I'm going to redo this and take into account the fact that when I feed it through my presser foot, the bottom catches it more, and it kind of slides off that way. I don't know where my words are tonight. They're not flowing. Okay, let's see. So I have to put the top kind of up. There we go. Much better. Okay, now we're back on track. Now let me remember this again. So place the top one a little bit higher. anticipating that the feed dogs are pulling the bottom faster than the top. Okay, not great, but not bad. Don't you wish all Dear Jane blocks could go this fast? If they did, I might have a chance. Right, Sue? Sue out in Chicago I've seen, has been making more progress on her Dear Jane. I love seeing pictures of where you create. Oh, and as always, send pictures of what you're working on or text them to me. Send them to lynn@simplycolorful.com, and I will look at them right now. I just heard some dings. That's what this hour's all about. It's just us unwinding from the week or gearing up for the weekend, whatever you feel like. But it's being together and just feeling creative. So this is kind of tricky. How am I going to line that up? See how I'm following the lines? It'll either be on point or it won't. Hey, it worked. See on the top? That's pretty good. So, if only I can remember what I did. What are we going to write? This one might be a little off. Good enough. Okay, so there's the center of the block. Again, this is D5. And did I mention I have a cousin whose name is Richard? Call him Rick. He is one of my cousins up in Vermont, and he and my Aunt Jane, you may recall, last year went up to the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds in Essex and looked at that quilt that we put in. It was my grandmother's quilt. And there's a picture of him floating around, and he's in front of it with my Aunt Jane. And I just got to thinking when I saw the name of this block, I thought of him this morning. So that's really a tiny addition all the way around. So I already have cut it out. It's 3/4 of an inch. So we're doing this. Oh, I'm going to do one more here, and then I'm going to see who's out there. So hopefully, yep, didn't cut anything off. Okay. This iron is perfect for these Dear Janes. Or for the Splendid Sampler. I keep watching Alyssa Thomas over there at Penguin and Fish. And I saw last night she was using her iron. Have I mentioned how much fabric I waste when I do these? Okay, so I'll do 2 more, but first, let's see who's out there. My big screen so we can see. Hey, Deb. Deb, hello. She says, I wanted to share my first doll. She says, haha, not anything like the works of art you create, but Emmy loves her. Oh, I'm sure she does. Look at this. Oh, Isn't she fun? Now, wait a second. There was, oh, I love her little dress. Aww, Nana. Aww. That is so sweet. Oh, and now I understand how look at her smile. It's kind of it's a sideways smile. That gives her so much personality. It's those little things that can imply so much. Aww. Excellent. Again, if I didn't say it, send your pictures to lynn@simplycolorful.com. Hey, hey! Oh, Sue is out there, my dear Jane friend. She says, here's a picture you can share with our fellow Fibercasters. Hopefully by next weekend, I will have these blocks sashed and added to the rest. Hopefully you have a pleasant holiday weekend planned. Ah, look at those. You see those? Oh, I love your variety. That's great. And your Lucy Boston up top. Oh, Sue, I do. What do I have? Tomorrow, I do. I'm going to Rhode Island to a couple of fabric stores one that I've never been to, Ryco, R-Y-C-O. And then we're going down, I think it's Barrington, to Knit One, Quilt Two. I could have that completely wrong, but yeah, taking a quick ride down there. So I'm looking forward to it. And then going to visit Mom on Sunday, Bob and I both. So we're going to take several days off and just unplug. No commitments, no nothing. I hope you also have a nice plan. Dawn. Hello, Dawn. Dawn says, hi, Lynn and Fibercasters. I'm sitting here sewing a label on my Simply Colorful Sampler Mystery Quilt. The cat, she says, however, is grumpy and meowing at me. He definitely feels my attention should be devoted to pampering him. I'll have to start my next Dear Jane block. You are inspiring me. Oh, good. Excellent. This really is a very easy one. It's all straight lines. So D-9. Oh, have a great weekend, Dawn. Anne, way over yonder. Oh my. She says, hi, Lynn and all the Fibercasters. Busy week, but I managed to just finish the block 3 on the Splendid Sampler 2. Such fun. Oh, it does look like so much fun. I would do it if I didn't have probably this already going. She says, I've also managed to finally see the rest of my mystery quilt together. I absolutely love how it turned out. Now all I need to do is sandwich and quilt it. My least favorite bit, LOL. Oh, I'm sorry. She says, I've added a pic of the flimsy and a close-up of one of the blocks as the colors don't show very well in my kitchen lights. It's 1 a.m. and everyone else is in bed, but I'm so thrilled to be up to see you live. Oh, that is great. And I hope your granddaughter, I hope I've got that right, is doing well, and your daughter. Oh, and she says, she goes on, and I'll show you the pictures. I'm sorry to keep them from you. She says, I love your Dear Jane blocks, and one day I will try and work out the software as it's still eluding my skills, but I will get it. Yes, you will. And yes, you will. Just think of it as a printer, just a program to print. So don't worry about placing all your blocks, at least for step 1. Just figure out up in the left-hand corner, might even be under fabric. It's odd the way you print them, but go up there and you just look down and print the paper piecing. That really didn't help. Okay, let's get to Anne's pictures. Anne, I just love your colors. There's one up close. Isn't that pretty? That's our most recent Simply Colorful Mystery. Oh, look at your Splendid Sampler. That's the 3rd block on the Splendid Sampler. Look at you. You already did the embroidery and everything. Oh, and the little clamshells. Oh, my goodness. Would you look at that? That is really pretty. Oh, wow. I'm proud. Love that. What's your spatula doing there? Oh, it must be in the kitchen, isn't it? That's what you said. See the spatula up in the corner? Thank you for sharing. And thank you for staying up with us. That means so much. Sleep tight. And speaking of staying up with us, Carol Bell. She says, I'm cleaning tonight. Oh no. She says, hi, Lynn and FiberCasters. Hope you have had a good week. We've had a wonderfully sunny week, but I've been working too much to really appreciate it. She says, I've been able to finish the quilting on another of my pile of quilts, just have to put the binding on. But my machine has had enough and has made the need for some TLC very clear. Oh, I love it. You always talk about your machine. So I've been cleaning my machine tonight, ready to get that binding on tomorrow. Oh, I love it. So you're not house cleaning, you're cleaning your machine. Phew. I was going to have to give a stern talking to and feel really guilty because I haven't cleaned my house in forever. Look at that. Carol has completed yet another. That's beautiful. Is that your own pattern? Very nice. Love it. Well, speaking of bindings, remember last week we were making bindings? I have finished this one, the scrappy green one, and it's made out of the fabrics that we made the baskets for on the poinsettia quilt. And the poinsettia quilt is coming. Let's see if I have a picture here. I sent one through Patreon, but maybe I have a picture here. There we go. Can you see the binding up there? How I'm auditioning it? I think it will work. I'm liking it. And the backing, I'm just using a off-white flannel. And I'm free motion quilting the whole thing because I still haven't gotten my computer fixed. It's always something, isn't it? Okay. Well, let's keep going. Thank you for writing in. Keep on writing in. Lynn at Simply Colorful. Okay. So for this one, we just have 2 more pieces. And if I were really good, I'd be measuring this. Otherwise, I'm going to have wavy blocks, but I'm not. Oh, but Carol, if you're out there, I hope you'd be proud of me. I was very careful. I redid the black binding on the quilt that went out to California, the vintage quilt, and I made sure to sew the binding on the diagonal, so that all went on much smoother. So thank you for reminding me of that. Okay. Yay! There we have D-9, Uncle Richard. So, let's see. What I do, here we go. I use this as my diary, and I'm going to pull out my glue stick, just my Elmer's glue. I'm going to glue a piece of the green that we used. In fact, I was looking at one. Well, we'll get to it in a minute. Okay, D-9, Uncle Richard. So today's date is 6/29/18. finished on FiberCast. Hot and humid here today. Bad news in Maryland with a shooting in a newspaper. What was it? The Capital Gazette? Is that right? Terrible. What's positive though? Good news is what's our good news? We're here. We're spending an hour together. We're sewing. Yeah. Good news. Oh, hear that? The AC just went on. We have a little unit, an AC unit. Good news. The AC just went on, and Deb sent a picture of a doll she made for Emmy with a heart and Nana on it. And then I'm going to put a heart here because I feel the love. Okay, so we motored along. We just finished the first one, and we still have time. So we'll put that one here. The second one I wanted to do that looked really easy was C11, the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. And it's not like there's any connection between that and the Dear Richard, Uncle Richard. It's just that it looked easy, and here's why. I'm going to show you my trick. So we're going to make that one now. Doesn't that look easy? What we're going to do is we're going to make the white, and we're going to applique it on. Okay, so what I did, and we're going to applique it on this blue. I've already ironed the blue in half. Here, let me iron it again. It's not as crisp as I would like. This is going to give us the center. Okay, there we go. So there's the center. And that is what we're going to put we have this template. We're supposed to have 4 of these to go around. So we'll put 4 here and make the circle. But instead of making 4, I'm only going to make 2. And the way I'm doing that is I took a piece of white and I folded it in half. And then I put the template here. And I'm taking away the seam yardage. And I'm just going to hold it. Talk about living on the edge. I've already done this once, so I have a feeling it's going to kind of work. Okay. So there, I've cut that out, but because we folded it, we have half. And then I also had already cut out the other half. So now I've got several of these I'm going to bring to the vineyard so I can finish them this next weekend. This is something I can get ready and then just do my whip stitching when we're down there. My needle turn applique. In fact, that's probably what I should do, is get my needle out. But before I do that, I want to sew the 2 pieces together. So let me just show you roughly. What the block looks like. That's the block. How easy is that? So before we do the needle turn applique, I'm going to sew the 2 pieces together. I just heard a ding. Someone else must be out there. I saw a text from KB yesterday. She's home from Alaska, which is great. There we go. See what I did? I chain pieced it. I know you all do that too. Okay, so now I take my lovely iron and I'm going to press this one open. So I want it to lie as flat as I can when I applique it. I went to Best Buy a few days ago looking for that camera boom that we need overhead so you can see when I do that. They didn't sell one, so. Okay, so that's going to work out nicely. But before I get it down, I need before I pin it down, I'm going to baste it. So I have a needle and I have a black thread, which will show up very well. And then usually I like to do needle turns on 1/8 of an inch, but because the template was 1/4 of an inch, I'm going to take in 1/4 of an inch. So see how? And I'm not even going to cut it. When I go to do the needle turn, I can try to make the arc as nice as possible. You know what I mean? I'm not going to clip the back to get it to lie flat, because I don't want it to fray. And really, when I do my needle turn, I should be able to make that a smoother arc. Okay, here we go. And here we go. This is so fast. Can you believe it? We're going to get 2 Dear Jane blocks sort of done. I love that Dawn is working on her binding. We're going to do another mystery quilt this fall. It's going to be another brown bag mystery quilt. So get ready. So all you patrons out there are going to receive fabric in a bag. Oh, who is that? Just a second, I'll get you. But first, we all have some summer living to enjoy. Oh, and I discovered a new series. Finally finished the House of Cards. So now, of course, I can't wait for the new last season that will start at the end of this year, the House of Cards. Thank you, KB, for access to Netflix. Man, do I love that. Then we started watching The Crown. That's going to be fun. Mom, we need to get you into The Crown. You're going to like it, because it's kind of your era. I'm just saying. A little bit before my time. We're on episode 2. The king has just died, and Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were over in Nairobi. Does that sound right? course, the history will come and go in my mind, but I'll enjoy it while I watch it. Okay. Ooh. So I don't think, well, am I going to needle turn the inside? This is where I really should. I'm going to trim it just a little bit, 1/8 of an inch, so that I can needle turn it just 1/8 of an inch. I can't needle turn an inner circle by 1/2 an inch of this size. Okay, so now I'm going to put this on. And then further baste it. But before I baste it, let's see who's out there. Hey, KB. Hi, KB. She says, hi, Fibercasters and Lynn. The great Bob and I are enjoying the show from the patio in PA tonight. Have a great weekend. Oh, wonderful. You too, and thanks for writing. It must be nice out back there, and your garden must have sprouted up while you were gone. So we saw Carol's quilt. Oh, yay! Becca! Becca is back home. Becca, she says, I returned home to Georgia on Monday after 6 weeks in New York, caring for my father-in-law. Thank you for your condolences offered in last week's FiberCast. Well, we've been thinking of you, and you did well. Becca says, not much sewing there except to hem pants and mend bedding. It was good to be useful in that way, I bet. Don't we all go to what we're comfortable and good at? That's good. Takes a community. Now that I am home, I'm trying to get back on the quilting needlework track. She says, yesterday I went to the local quilt shop and assembled 2 rows on my diamond wedding ring quilt, a paper-pieced pattern by Judy Niemeyer. I think you've sent us a picture. She says, it's great to finally see the pieces begin to form a picture. I only work on this quilt top 1 day a month at the shop. I've been working on it for 2.5 years. This is the one you've sent. She says, now I'm stitching on a cross-stitch sampler, see below, and I've showed you before. I'm working on the November band, so I only have 1 additional month's band in this 2017 design by Linen and Threads Mystery Stitch Along will be done. The end is in sight. Oh, happy stitching to you all. Becca Clash in Columbus, Georgia. Oh, that is beautiful. Wow, Becca. That is beautiful work. Here, let me expand it a little bit if anyone can see. Oh, wow. Oh, that makes me want to do that. And I bet I say that every time you send it. Oh, Diane, hello out in California. She says, hello, just me, just you. It's really you, Diane in Northern California. Hello, all you beautiful Fibercasters. She says, no sewing tonight as I've been working off and on folding my fabrics on comic book boards. She says, OMG in capitals. I went down the rabbit hole. I wondered about that. I've yet to succumb, so you have to tell us how this goes. She says, I have over 500 wrapped. Dash's party is tomorrow. Oh, good. Dash is her grandson. I should be packing because I'm heading to Maui on Monday for 13 days, and I can't wait to not only relax, but go to the 3 quilt shops on the island. She says, have a blessed weekend, all of you. Aww. And then she says, so I got caught up on the phenomenon being the jelly roll rug. I'm sorry if I've missed these in the past, but I'm loving reading them, Diane. She says, let me tell you, it's a commitment. You sew all the jelly rolls together, which is just under 50 yards. Then you insert batting. After I cut over 60 pieces, fold like double folded binding, then start making the rug. I hope to have it completed this weekend. However, I picked up my granddaughter on the way home from work, and we're going to focus on girly things. Have a beautiful weekend all, and please, let's remember all those involved in the senseless shooting in Maryland. Blessings, Diane from California. Isn't well said, Diane. Thank you for writing, and I'm so glad you're out there. And enjoy your time. Annie, hello, Annie. Annie says, I keep hitting send when I mean to click on attachment. I'm still waiting for a part for Julia Juki, so I can't quilt it yet. The hexagons are 3/4 of an inch, but I forgot to count how many thousands of them are in it. I'm so glad it's done. Now I can get caught up some more on some hand saw work that's been piling up. I've done Dear Jane row A 1 through 8, using them as leader enders for my Dresden plate I'm putting together. Oh my gosh, Annie. Annie is using her Dear Jane blocks as leader enders. I am so impressed. Really, I'm so impressed. Annie's going to be done before both Sue and me combined. Because look at this. You have to see this. This is another one of her hexies. Oh, and by the way, she says, just adding, I'm relaxing with some knitting tonight. That is just amazing. Wow. Really cool. And she's doing, so the Dear Jane is her leader enders for her Dresden plate she's putting together. When that's done, I'll go full time on the Dear Jane. Uh-oh, Sue. Sue, you better speed it up, because one of us has to beat Annie here. Okay. I'm so glad you're out there. Hi, Lynn. Oh, good. Carol writes about the quilt that we showed. She said the quilt in the picture was one of Cozy Quilt Design's strip club patterns called Meditation. I must admit to having a number of them. They are all multi-sized and easy to follow. Oh, that's good to know. Cozy Quilt Designs, strip club patterns. Thank you, Carol, for letting me know. I'm going to check that out. Oh, and Annie, I just saw your first message. Oh, Carol, hello. Did you by any chance get the text I tried to send? It's a picture of you and your dad. I just found it before this, but I'm not sure it went through. But I'll try again. Carol says, a Dear Jane question. She says, Lynn, with all the Dear Jane squares you have made, which one would you make an entire quilt from? Ooh, that's a great question. All are great. And being a novice, she says, I'm wondering if I could join the Dear Jane movement with just one square. I think that's such a good idea. She says, we'll watch tonight and work on the binding of a recently machine quilted creation by the Simply Colorful Long Arm Division. Thanks for the creation. I love that you do that, Carol. Happy binding, and what a great question. You know what we're going to have to do? I'm going to have to lend you this book, and you can pick one out. Let's see. How many blocks are there? There are 200 and some odd blocks. Because, okay. There are 5,602 pieces total in this quilt. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. So 13 by 13, what does that equal? 10 by 10 is 100. Where's my calculator? It'll just tell us how many are in here before you know it. Anyway, I'm not answering your question, am I? I would say there are so many. You know what? I might not limit it to one. maybe pick out 13 and maybe repeat those 13, either all in the same or alternate them like a trip around the world or something. You can do these. You really can. And they're fun. And they're so small, you might have fun doing just a few of them. In fact, I saw one. Oh, I wanted to read this to you. One of these, I have the note that you and Deb came over when I did it. February 25th of 2017. So that was more than a year ago, you guys. We have to do this more often. Sewed with Deb Linehan and Carol Ouellette in the Simply Colorful studio. And I did C10, Patriot's Lantern. So maybe that could be one of them, Patriot's Lantern. They're all fun. And I love that idea. Happy binding. Okay, let's finish this up. So now I have it pinned on. Now I'm going to get myself a new piece of this. And then I just can't explain it. They just appeared. Okay, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Time to go watch another episode of The Crown. So I'm taking big basting stitches through all of the fabrics as a next step. And then the third step, I'm going to actually baste inside the circle. You can never really have too much basting, I don't think. Okay, so I've taken my pins out. And now I am going to turn under 1/8 of an inch on the inside and baste that. And then this will go in my pile for handwork that I can do on the road. Speaking of which, I have to go to Austin July 11th to 13th. So I'll take this on the road. Oh my goodness. Oh, and I got a nice note from my Aunt Bonnie today. She is sending some fabric. So this will be good foreshadowing. And we'll see, maybe even by next Friday, we'll have it here and we can look at it. The fabric came from a fabric store in Burlington that was the only fabric store in town for years, back in the 70s. And at one point, during the end of the fabric store, my Aunt Bonnie's daughter, or my cousin, Amy, dated the store owner's son. And when the store went out of business, there was oodles of fabric. How cool is that? That my aunt got bags of it. And she kept a few of these pieces and she sent us some gems. One of which she's described as being the traditional or the quintessential 1970s mustard gold, avocado green, and rusty orange. Remember those colors? Those are so 70s. So when that fabric comes, who knows? Maybe that's what we'll put in our, in our brown bags. Let's see if it's any good. But that might be fun. And then I think what we need to do is whatever the brown bag mystery quilt is, when it's finished, I'm going to raffle it off to patrons. So it will go to one of you. And then you can keep it or re-gift it or do whatever you want with it. This is working much better to just be turning under only 1/8 of an inch. It would not be as easy if I had to turn under 1/4 of an inch, for sure. Oh, I'm so excited that people are making different quilts, making the Dear Jane, doing the hexies, making dolls, getting creative around Dear Jane. Hanging out with the grandkids. Okay, and here we are. Oops. Looking pretty round. Almost done. Now for my diary entry on this one, it's only going to say I started. I didn't finish it. But, okay. There is the start of another Dear Jane. Let's pull that up. C11. Here it is, C11. So, again, I need a little piece of this. I know I'm going to cut this down. So, here's my little piece of fabric. And I want to say 6/29/18 started on FiberCast, basted white to blue. And made D. How many times do I have to say it? Which one did? Made D9 block also tonight. We're on a roll. There, 2. We are on a roll. Officially on a jig. I think we're going to call it. I am so glad that you joined me today. What a week. I want to wish you all a great holiday. Do what you love to do. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next Friday night right here on FiberCast. Bye, everyone.